What's going on? We back, Goodfellas Sports TV, and I'm about to rap for a minute on this one. And I had to kind of go back and research and kind of remember what happened. And let me get into it. Apparently, David Stern, I'll link article in description. He did a sit down with Sports Illustrated, and he talks about why did he veto the Chris Paul trade to the LA Lakers. Now, he used some weak excuse, man, and I'll pull the article up. You know, acting like he don't remember what the trade was. And basically, he tried to throw the brother up under the belt, Dell Demps, and say he was a lousy GM, and he blamed him for the whole situation and all this stuff, man. And I'm going to tell you this, man. I'm going to get into a deep history about David Stern and how he single-handedly was responsible. I say he single-handedly was responsible in destroying the NBA. And he goes into this article on ESPN, which I'll link in the description, man. And he says, you know, there was a trade that Dell Demps wanted us to approve, and I said, heck no. And I told Daryl Morey, Mitch Kupchak, it was the Houston Rockets general manager and the Lakers general manager, I think at the time, you know, that no, he didn't have the authority. Dell Demps said he had the authority, but he didn't. At the time, the Hornets were not, that's what they was, the Hornets at the time. They didn't have an owner, and the NBA was overseeing that. And they put a trade together. He tried to act like he didn't remember the trade, and he just, I'm going to go in on him, man. I can't stand David Stern, man, for a number of reasons. Not just this, but he fakes and act like he doesn't remember the trade, all right? He said, you know, Demps had agreed to trade Paul to Lakers for Kevin Martin, Luis Scola, or something like that, I said. And he had like he'd remember the trade, but ultimately the trade ended up being, you know, to the Clippers for Eric Gordon and Al-Farouq Aminu. And he said, I really thought the draft was strong the following year, the 10th pick for Austin Rivers. So they traded basically Chris Paul for Eric Gordon, Al-Farouq Aminu, and Austin Rivers, the 10th pick, all right, which was the 10th pick. And, you know, he goes on and says that, but Dell Demps and Lassie, general manager, none of those players are currently with the team. For one, homie, Al-Farouq Aminu is still not even, he's not no transcendent superstar player. Oh, it's his fault that Austin Rivers, that y'all end up, whoever took Austin Rivers was good. I mean, Austin Rivers wasn't even good. He was looking good coming out of high school. He was all right in college, but he wasn't no good. And Eric Gordon, he ain't never reached superstar potential no matter where he went. You know, maybe LA, maybe Houston. He a good 6 man. So you basically traded Chris Paul for nothing. But let me check this out. He blames Dell Dempsey, but let me tell you the trade Dell Dempsey put out. Paul Gasol would have went to the Rockets, all right? That's what happened with that. It was a 3-team trade. Obviously the Lakers would have got Chris Paul, okay? And what the Pelicans or the non-Pelicans, what the Hornets at the time would have received back, it was Lamar Odom, Kevin Martin, Goran Dragic, and it was one other player, that they would have got. Man, I'm about to pull it up. And they received a draft pick on top of that. On top of that, that was a way better deal that Dell Demps put together. A way better deal, man. And the reason the deal didn't happen is because, and I'll link another article explaining that, is because Dan Gilbert and Mark Cuban cried about the deal and cried because LA was getting Chris Paul. And the trade would have sent Paul Gasol to the Rockets, like I said, and it would have sent Kevin Martin, Luis Scola, Lamar Odom, and Goran Dragic in a 2012 first-round draft pick that Houston had acquired from the Knicks. Okay? They had the Knicks draft pick, and they X'd that deal to take another deal. The only reason David Stern X'd that deal is because Mark Cuban and Dan Gilbert cried about the deal. They cried about Chris Paul going to the Lakers. That's what happened. And all of a sudden, he going to try to make it seem like the brother Dell Demps didn't know what he was doing. And he didn't make it work. What you mean? He would have had Kevin Martin, Luis Scola, Lamar Odom, Goran Dragic, way better than what you got back. And David Stern has been the scum of the earth in the NBA. He's perhaps one of the worst, one of the worst commissioners in sports history, right up there with Roger Goodell. Terrible. He's the single reason the NBA went from no boys allowed to a whole bunch of boys playing in the NBA. Seriously, bro. And what type of commissioner or former commissioner, because he ain't got the spotlight no more, because Adam Silver's doing 1,000 times better than him, comes back with some hateful stuff like that, bro. He wouldn't have said that about no white general manager. Obviously, the brother was there at what 2000, whatever it was. This was deal was supposed to go down, and he's still here 9-10 years later. He's still here, so he must be doing something right. So would you go out there and pull some of these other general managers' whole card like that? These white general managers? No, you would never pull nothing like that on them. You know what I'm saying? It's a racial undertones to this, man. He'd have never did nothing to a white general manager or nothing, nobody of that ilk. He wanted to pull a brother whole card. It was this thing didn't go through because Mark Cuban and Dan Gilbert, the owner of the Cavaliers, Mark Cuban, the owner of the Mavs, were crying because they couldn't get Chris Paul. He was going to the Lakers again. But any other time without history, they don't mind swinging things in the Celtics' favor, or they don't mind swinging things in the Lakers' favor. And I like the Lakers. I'm a big Laker fan. You know, but my other team is the Pistons. They don't show us no favors. We ain't never got the number 1 pick from what I remember. Isaiah was like number 2. You know what I'm saying? They make sure the Cavaliers. Come on, you can't tell me that the NBA ain't on some cheating shit, man. The Cavaliers got the first overall pick 3 years in a row, or 2 or 3 years in a row. You find it ironic that Dan Gilbert from the Cavaliers was the reason why this trade was vetoed. And you don't make no correlation. They got the three straight number 1 picks. Come on, man. David Stern is single-handedly responsible for destroying the NBA, and Adam Silver is picking it back up, rebuilding it, making it innovative. Period. When Jordan couldn't get past the Pistons and the Pistons was too physical, David Stern's the one that implemented fines, implemented flagrant calls. He implemented no touching Jordan. He made Jordan untouchable. That's what they won't tell you. Jordan cried to David Stern. He treated Michael Jordan like his baby. That's why physical play got took out the NBA. Because when people chastise LeBron and say what you want to say about LeBron, he's soft. Michael Jordan is the only reason he really got past the Pistons. It ain't that he beat the Pistons. It wasn't that the Pistons was getting old neither. They changed the rules. You could not touch Michael Jordan. The birth of superstar calls started with Jordan. It started with him complaining to David Stern, and David Stern protected Michael Jordan. That's what they won't tell you. These dudes don't know ball, man. They won't tell you that. They won't tell that in ESPN. When they implemented flagrant fouls, they implemented fines. They start suspending people, technical fouls and all that because of Jordan. David Stern was responsible for that. He was responsible for destroying No Boys Allowed League and turning it into a punk league. He took the hand check away. He was trying to get more offense, and they were scoring plenty points in the 80s. He made Jordan untouchable. Don't let nobody tell you nothing different. He changed all the rules. He made superstar rules, man. He made it a superstar league. And on top of that, he's such a scumbag, bro. He told Seattle, your team is not moving. He told the Seahawks, your team is not moving. And then moved their team to Oklahoma City. Permanently was in New Orleans back to Oklahoma City. No, the Hornets was relocated to Oklahoma City. They went back to New Orleans. And then they gave Seattle a team in Oklahoma City. And then he be spatting at them fans. He be trolling the fans and making fun of them. I don't know what he got against Seattle. Seattle deserve a team. But he did that. He just as bad as not worse than Roger Goodell, bro. He just as bad as him. And a lot of people don't really get into the basketball politics like that, man. But if you dig deep, he the scum of the earth. He's absolutely one of the worst commissioners of sports ever. The baseball commissioner, whatever that dude's name. I'm not interested in baseball, but I know he sucked too. Roger Goodell and David Stern. Them guys to be top 3 worst commissioners of sports of all time. And then what type of commissioner that throws another general manager under the bus? And the Pelicans had to come out and say, we like Dell Demps. We trust what he's doing. Woo, 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 woo. Because you trying to cover up, because it's a coup behind closed doors for the Lakers not to get Chris Paul, because Mark Cuban felt he was in his feelings. Dan Gilbert was in his feelings. So you do what's best for them. They got 3 number 1 picks you made sure they got. And I know you made sure they got the number 1 picks. That didn't happen naturally. And they got 3 number 1 picks and they still didn't do nothing. That's karma. That's karma. And look at him now with nothing. With nothing in Cleveland. Because he a mark. Just like David Stern's a mark. Just like Mark Cuban's a mark. Mark Cuban should have been forced to trade his team, to sell his team, excuse me. He should have been forced to sell his team. He should have been forced to sell it after that sexual misconduct going around and him donating this much money. No, I make him sell his team like Donald Sterling. That is had enough. Because he's a mark too. All these dudes is clowns, man. You know what I'm saying? And then they want to try to blame the brother. He put an excellent deal together. You tell me what you would took. Alfred Minu, Eric Gordon, and the number 10 overall pick that turned out to be Austin Rivers. And then he blame him and say, well, he's such a shitty GM. None of them teams are with them no more. Ain't none of them niggas with the Clippers no more. With the Clippers no more. That came from the Clippers. Ain't none of them with the Hornets. I mean, that was with the Clippers no more. You feel what I'm saying? Ain't none of them with the Hornets no more. Eric Gordon been gone. You know what I'm saying? He been gone, family. You know what I'm saying? Alfred Camino ain't do nothing in New Orleans. Austin Rivers, didn't he get traded on draft day? He ain't do nothing with the Hornets neither. Eric Gordon still end up not being nothing in Houston. He's a good six man. Alfred Camino, he alright. You don't want him to be your starting 4-3, but he Austin Rivers somewhere in Washington buried in the bench. Oh, it's his fault because they couldn't play. It ain't his fault. It's your fault. You approve that trade. Take responsibility for your actions. Take responsibility for creating superstar costs. Take responsibility for destroying the league and not wanting any parity and cuddling superstars. The superstar call started with you, David Stern. Michael Jordan calling you up because the Pistons was too physical with you. They was too physical. You take responsibility for your actions. Lying to the Seattle Supersonics fans and saying, oh, we ain't going to take your team, and then taking a team and moving it to Oklahoma City? And then now you mocking them every time you get a chance. Man, go sit your old self down and die in peace, bro. Go be a Walmart greeter. Ain't nobody got no respect for you. Adam Silver is 1,000 times better commissioner, 1 billion times better commissioner than you can ever be. I remember what you did. I know my hoop NBA history. I remember what you did. You destroyed the NBA. You didn't want mid-market to small market teams to prosper in the NBA. That was your doing, David Stern. You made Jordan untouchable. You made it where you couldn't touch him. You took away hard fouls. You took away physical basketball. You implemented superstar calls. You took away the hand check. You take responsibility for your own actions. You know what I'm saying? He's a mark. And then you gonna try to throw the brother under the bus. Ain't that about white? You feel what I'm saying? It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. And he messed up. And then, it's Dell Demps didn't make it work. Ain't nobody made it work with Eric Gordon, Alfred Camino, or Austin Rivers. Them dudes ain't no type of superstar players. He's probably going to lose Anthony Davis, too. Look at him with that hating. Pelicans doing just fine. He just hating. He just hating because he lying. He just hating because everybody know for real that he didn't make that trade. He wasn't doing what's best for the Pelicans. He was doing what's best for Dan Gilbert, the Cleveland Cavaliers, Mark Cuban, and the Dallas Mavericks. Ain't neither one of them ain't been nothing. Cuban and them got a championship, I think, around that time, and Dan Gilbert, they eventually got championships. LeBron came back, but without LeBron, he ain't did nothing. 2 or 3 straight picks they got on Dan Gilbert, and he still couldn't run the ship until LeBron came back. I'm telling you, bro, the NBA, man, these sports are murky at best, bro. Ain't nothing organic about this. These commissioners, these leagues want to sway the team one way or another. They deem and pick who they want to win. And that's just facts, and I'm not going to go deep into that, man. It's Goodfellas Sports TV, man. Shout out to all my real hoop historians, man. I could do a whole channel just on the historians and the politics of hoops, college, and NBA. Man, that shit would be dope. I'm going to implement more of retro NBA talk, man. And sooner or later, man, shout out to everybody that's holding us down. Goodfellas Sports TV. We on Facebook. You want to DM me, you got a video request, you can Hit me up on Facebook. Hit me up on